Scientists' shocking new discovery beneath Siberia's ice. Scientists have resurrected a massive virus that was frozen in Siberian ice for 30,000 years and is still contagious, in what looks like a storyline right out of a science fiction movie. In today's video, we'll discuss a surprising discovery made by scientists in the Siberian ice. Siberian ice caps are melting, revealing historic virus time capsules trapped deep inside. Preventing climate change is crucial to safeguarding both the ecosystem and mankind from the hidden dangers it contains. In the past several years, researchers have begun to discover ancient viruses trapped in the permafrost of the Arctic. But the real dilemma is, should we thaw them out, give them a little life, even if they are technically non-living, and try to do some more lab work on their biological importance? For fascination as well as scientific advancement, the mysteries they hold about the past and the potential advantages learning about their physiology could bring are priceless. But it's important to remember that these things are still largely unmeasured viral infections that might easily spiral out of control very fast. We run the risk of releasing viruses into the current world population without any practical means of limiting them. If we go deeply into the freezing past, the best course of action is to simply leave them in their icy resting place. Everyone in the world is aware of what may happen whenever virology is taken lightly. But in reality, as a consequence of climate change, global temperatures are increasing, and we may no more have the privilege of a decision. A variety of old microbes are being exposed to the 21st century by melting Arctic and Antarctic ice, and it's entirely feasible that some of them may be hostile. This type of discovery was most recently made by a team of microbes and freezing specialists who extracted 13 zombie viruses from old Siberian permafrost. It is thought that these infections, which are still contagious, have been preserved there for close to 50,000 years. The zombie viruses of Siberia. No, this isn't a fantasy or the premise of a science fiction film. Rather, it is a new area of serious scientific study. But as we've seen, viruses are lifeless genetic code strings rather than living organisms. When bacteria come in contact with a real living host, they only become active. Once activated, viruses can seize control of the host's cellular genetic code and energy supplies to quickly replicate and wreak havoc, also known as infection. Most of the time, after a virus has left its host, it cannot survive in the environment for an extended period. However, certain particular species have a more resistant nature and chemical stability that enable their viability to be maintained even after spending an incredibly long time on ice. This explains how the 13 ancient viruses, which belong to the megavirus and pythovirus families, were able to exist in the Siberian tundra for such a long time unharmed. Do these viruses still have the ability to spread? Yes. Could they spread disease among people? They exclusively infect amoeba though. So why then should we be concerned? Is there a possibility of the Arctic virus spreading? Although the zombie virus species discovered are not anticipated to be capable of infecting people or animals, the group issues a warning that the persistence of these dangerous agents after surviving so many years trapped deep under the ice could still present a serious threat to public health. Not because they might infect humans, but rather because it is impossible to predict what additional zombie viruses or harmful germs might start to emerge when the ice melts. Because there are so many medications on the market, treating bacterial infections is typically easier than treating viral infections. However, the team of researchers cautions that we shouldn't rely too much on these tried and true techniques for eliminating bacteria, because a surprising number of ancient species of bacteria identified from the permafrost have shown antibiotic resistance genes. The scientists believe that their groundbreaking findings will serve as a reminder to the rest of the world that, in the middle of climate catastrophe, we should be concerned not just about the future, but also about the past, since it could also come back to haunt us. How did the planet appear 50,000 years ago? The viruses would have been preserved in ancient Siberia since the end of the historical period known as the Pleistocene, or last glacial maximum, according to the scientists' estimate of their age. This period is more frequently referred to as the Ice Age. Technically, this glacial maximum in Earth's geological history is still going on today, but the weather is milder and the terrain is more livable because we are currently in an interglacial phase of warming. However, much of the Earth's surface was covered by glaciers 50,000 years ago, which meant that many animal groups were restricted to lower altitude woodlands and woods. According to archaeology, it was at this time when prehistoric human populations created the first tools of the Paleolithic era. The globe experienced extreme cooling and repeated cycles of glacial freezing throughout this epoch, which contributed to the extinction of several species. Early humans, these dead animals, and other creatures would have had their bodies permanently preserved in the ice as fossils. The permafrost would also have maintained even the smallest bacterial and viral microorganisms that were in the environment or inside biological hosts. In the distant past, during the glacial ice age, our ancestors created the first tools that set the way for the rapid industrialization that is now melting our glacier ice in the digital age. You could say that the threat of climate change has now entered a new phase, one in which reducing emissions and choosing environmentally friendly options is beneficial, but not the only solution. Recent studies have shown that humans no longer have complete control over the melting of the Arctic ice and other ice formations on Earth due to climate change. This is because, in some situations, the melting mechanism of these environments has been pushed over a crucial tipping point, creating an eternal cycle of thawing. Less sunlight is absorbed by the ice's white surface as it melts more, which causes further heat and melting. The Arctic has been proven to be heating at a rate 4 times quicker than the rest of the Earth as a result of this effect. As a result, previously frozen organic material and bacteria in the ice are accessible to water and start to decompose, generating more CO2 and accelerating global warming. The permafrost thaws more quickly as a result. Re-exposing these once frozen creatures to the elements not only risks life on Earth to these gases and contributes to climate change and gas release. The scientists who found the 13 frozen Siberian pathogens say they are not worried about these particular viruses generating an Arctic virus overflow, even though exposure to developing microbes is their main concern. According to the scientists, there shouldn't be much of a health risk associated with separation, growing, and experimenting because of how far apart people and the amoeba host these infections can in fact have evolved. They, however, stress that even while these viruses don't present a threat to society, other observations from deep under the ice suggest that human-infecting viruses might still reside there. A cold epidemic? In the same permafrost, in 2012, researchers resurrected a smallpox virus from a 300-year-old Siberian mummy. Although smallpox has been eliminated from the world population since 1980, experts are concerned that the virus, along with other dangerous species, could reappear when global warming drives old sufferers of the illness to awaken from their frozen graves. Similar to this, anthrax spores from animal graveyards were discharged from permafrost melting in Siberia a few years earlier, killing a 12-year-old kid, hospitalizing numerous others, and depleting local reindeer populations. Even though there have been increasing rumors in the epidemiological studies, microbiology, and environmental societies about the potential threat of additional pandemics coming from the polar permafrost in conjunction with these findings, there is still a dearth of disclosed scientific inquiry being published. Because these epidemics may occur in isolated areas and go unnoticed, the current literature on the reappearance of ancient frozen microbes may not accurately reflect the harm they pose to society. Scientists caution that as the Earth warms, human exposure to zombie microbes could increase even more since warmer Arctic temperatures might encourage migration to the region. The Arctic and Antarctic regions appear to have the potential to become the next major, hitherto unheard of virus hotspots as the world continues to recover recover from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the light of this, it appears that COVID-19 and climate change, two of the world's biggest current concerns, may be more deeply intertwined than initially believed, raising the likelihood of an Arctic viral spillover. Additionally, considering that Siberia has seen the majority of viral resurfacing, the present global regional instability with Russia may make further research, collaboration, and containment extremely difficult. The researchers are concerned that the fast escalating temperatures brought on by climate change could endanger even secret ecosystems like this one. According to Steven, certain crucial aspects of the changing climate are still not fully understood by scientists, but significant changes are underway. Thank you for watching.